welcome everyone to the first official iSV Season 9 Town Hall. Applause. If you've never attended one of our town halls or our panels, or you've successfully removed the previous one from your memories, here's what to expect. Here at iSV, the best and most important part of the community is you guys, and we consider every item in the feedback form, every suggestion, and every criticism when planning a new season. And because without the players, we don't have a community to plan a season for. So that's why we do this, to keep you guys relevant and obviously involved in the whole season planning, because the server's for you guys to play on, and so we need your help. That being said, we will not be making any announcements today because we don't have anything to announce. Planning is super early, so right now we are just doing brainstorming. So all of the announcements will happen in a future panel. There's no date for when that will be, but if everything goes according to plan, should be around June or July-ish. We don't know for sure, so that could change. Today we will be focusing on discussion, reflection, and brainstorming. We're going to be looking at this current season, what went well, what could be improved upon, based on your guys' feedback from the feedback form, as well as the survey that we did last summer. We took a lot of information from that. And there will also be maybe some teasers, maybe, possibly, maybe. We'll be answering some of the questions that you guys submitted over the last few weeks in the Town Hall feedback form. And if you forgot to ask your questions or you just put it off forever and ever, do not panic. You can still submit questions during the panel today, and we will answer them live today. If we don't get to your question or we can't give you an answer right away, don't worry, we will bring it to a discussion after the panel and get you an answer with a DM. So I'm going to hand it over to Rill to throw some words at you.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
Hi. How's it going, everybody? So the biggest question that we get when it comes to the rumors of new seasons and things like that is when. So we're like inundated with questions about when is the season ending? When is the new season beginning? And the answer is not set in stone. We want to make sure that whatever update that Mojang comes out with next gets to be included in that season launch. And so until we know when that happens, we won't know an exact date for you. So all we can do is give you a time frame. So what we're going to do is say that 30 days before the new season launches is when this current season will end. So we're going to have a month of downtime for the main server so that we can get everything into a world download and get everything set up for the next season and all of that. It does take us a little bit longer than it has in the past just because of the multi-server network and all of that other more complicated stuff. What we are aiming for is going to be a like July-ish time frame. So we're kind of hoping that Mojang follows their same kind of update schedule. So if they release their next update in like May or June, then you can expect like 60 to 90 days after that is when we will be able to target for the new launch. So as soon as we know that information, we'll know our launch date information. So you've got time. You've got time to finish your bases. You've got time to complete your projects and things like that. We'll start doing more base tours when Impulse comes to visit. On the monthly basis, we'll start doing base tours so that people who are done with their bases, we can come tour them. And that way there won't be this massive rush at the end of season to get all the base touring done so that Impulse can see all of the things. So he always feels really bad because it feels frantic at the end of the season that he doesn't get to like see everybody and see everybody's bases or spend a lot of time. So the sooner you guys finish and submit your bases for a tour, the better, and it will help him feel better too. Okay, so I think that was it. That's our rough estimate for launch time frame. There is one thing that we want to ask you guys when it comes to that 30 days of downtime. In the past, we have had access to the creative server, but we also wanted to throw out the idea that we could also do an event server, like a 30-day event server. We've thought about Skyblock, we've thought about maybe like a prison server, something just fun and simple and grindy. But we wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. So we will be coming out with polls very soon to get your guys' thoughts on what you would like to do. It has to be something that's short because it's only going to be 30 days and it can't take a lot of server resources because it will have to be separate from the network and we need to pool all of our resources for the network to get it ready for the new season. So, and it can't take a lot of the like admin's time and focus because we're getting ready for the new season. So, if you guys have ideas on that, if you have thoughts on that, if you want to help with that, that will be something that you can drop in the feedback form and we'll also be putting up polls for. So that's it from me. Back to you, Ashley.
Hello, yes, that is me. I am Ashley. All right, so I'm going to give everybody the chance to speak in just a moment here, so it's not just me and real blabbering at you guys. So I'm going to start with some of the questions that you guys have thrown us over the last few weeks. Some of your questions were a lot of fun, so we're going to take turns answering. Maybe not one of the more fun ones, but one of the more ones that helps you guys get to know us better. We just assume that everybody knows who your mod team is. That's perfect English. But let's go ahead and answer this question. So this is, I didn't get permission from the submitter to say their name, so we'll just ask, what do you guys enjoy and dislike the most about being part of the mod team? Does anybody want to answer first?
I can.
I'll go.
Go ahead, Glaive.
I like most being able to TP to people and troll them a little bit. And then probably have to say banning people can be hard. It is such a good community and losing people can, it can be sad. So that could be the thing I dislike most about being a mod.
I can go next. The thing I like most about being a moderator is just kind of sitting back and watching the community help each other. It's always nice to see people interacting and then like somebody's like, oh, can I get help with this? Or would somebody like help with that or something like that? That, I don't know, it just warms my heart to see how people just kind of jump in and get together and stuff. Bell, I am a mod. That is so rude. Okay, we're banning Bell after this meeting.
I second that motion.
And then what I dislike most is probably banning people too, even though we're going to ban Bell. That'll be the downside for today.
Overruled. I need Bell.
You can have Bell. It just doesn't mean we can't just unban her later. It's fine.
Maybe we can ban her on half the servers.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, losing people and having to make that judgment call is the hardest thing for me too.
I'll go next. Probably one of my favorite things is being the food-driven person, handing out snacks, restart or just at random. And as far as dislike, it just seems Murphy's Law is if one person asks to help, it seems I get 7 or 8 requests all at once. And it's like, all right, just please wait. But beyond that, there's not too much that I dislike about being on the mod team.
I could go next. What I like most about being a mod is figuring out fun new ways to troll people. My most favorite one I have recently is being able to throw players. So I figured out you can attach a player to a snowball and throw them around. I did see that there was a downside of being accidentally thrown by snowmen across the server and being put into random farms, but I found ways to go around that. my least favorite part about being a mod is having too much power. I feel like I might accidentally put in a wrong command and destroy the server, which I only maybe done once so far, but it's scary having that power.
So we're de-upping the moo cat.
I do de-up myself sometimes when I'm sciencing, you know? I'm somewhat responsible sometimes.
Anybody? Okay.
I'll go. Yeah, really quick. I'd say probably the trolling part of things is a lot of fun too, and also being able to like TP to people who need help and things like that. That's always a fun part of being a mod too, being there for the community. But the dislikes, I think like all of us kind of have the same dislikes and kind of things. You know, no one likes having to ban people. It's never the fun part of things.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, depending on situation, I guess. But we might say that we like to ban people as a fun thing to say, but we never no one wants to do that here. So that's pretty much it, I'd say.
I can go next. I don't generally do a whole lot of mod work anymore. It's more just helping lead the team and taking care of the admin side of things. So I'll just say the best thing about having been on the mod team and doing the admin work is just the helping people part. I love to help people. I love to help out with things, and being able to solve someone's problem so that they can have a better day is the highlight of my days. And the thing that I dislike the most is probably trying to build the bridges. It's the process of solving the problems, especially the problems between people. That's the part that I struggle with the most, it's not my favorite. I don't mind the banning because usually if we're banning somebody, it's necessary, and so it doesn't bother me as much as it does some other people. It used to when I was a baby mod, but I think it's more the trying to get to that place where we have found the compromise, we have found the in-between road that's going to solve problems and help everybody have a better day.
Is that just me at this point? Okay.
You and me.
Oh. So my favorite thing about being a mod, I kind of have two. I really like being able to help people in the community and the community like as a whole. Like we take in the feedback, we process it, and we implement changes that we can. And I really like being a part of that process. And then the other part of that, I really like helping like with the administrative, not the admin side of things, but like the administrative side of things, like organizing our files, um, doing, spreadsheets, and all of the fun stuff that comes with that, and just making sure that we are organized and well equipped to do the job. And then my least favorite thing, definitely banning. It makes me so sad and like it stresses me out whenever we have to go through that process because I know that it does impact the community. Whether it's the infraction that has occurred or the loss of the player, it definitely does impact the community, and I don't like negative impacts on the community. It makes me sad. And also whenever like I personally come up on a situation that I myself don't have those skills to fix, that gets really frustrating, and then I have to poke an admin or do all of the stuff and things, and I still can't get it done, and then it has to sit there unfinished, and that me. But other than that, it's a really fun position, and I'm thankful that I get to be here.
Lego, your turn.
um, that's always it's a tough question to answer. There's many different things I like and I like about being a mod on the server. There's not as much that I dislike, to be honest. I suppose the thing I like the most is the ability the position has given me to interact more with the community, to be able to, help them bring their voice to the team, or to discuss their voices they brought. The other mods have brought their opinions to the team, stuff like that. And I also love doing the like mod coin redeems and stuff like that. I love anything to do with that sort of side of the things. I find very gratifying as a mod. In terms of dislike, I actually kind of like what Juji said about the powers side of things. I find that one of the things that becoming a mod has done is a weird thing. I feel like my abilities to actually play the game of Minecraft have diminished because having powers has made it that I can do things that I wouldn't necessarily normally need to do. I normally wouldn't be able to do the TPing and stuff like that. So it's a kind of I suppose I kind of feel like my Minecraft skills have diminished if I ever had skills to begin with. um, I would say that's all I can think of really. Over to Miss Cloud.
Unless I'm gonna put Mac on the spot. I know Mac's an admin, but if she wants to go, she can.
Wait, what? Yeah, I can do that. So obviously I'm not a mod. I'm an admin. But my favorite part of being able of being an admin is once you guys have said this before, it's being able to help people. When people need help, you're sort of able to jump in and help make decisions and help fix things as they're happening. That's one of the benefits of me being on a different time zone than the other admins. I get a different options or different opportunities to help. The thing I like the least about being an admin is when Mojang provides updates to things and it takes a really long time for the plugins to filter down through paper and so bucket and spigot and paper and it's saying there's this wonderful new thing that Mojang has released and we want to bring it to the server, but we have to wait. We can't just bring it out and help people out with that. And making sure that it's stable enough for us to do that. We're all excited. We want to give it to everybody. We want to make sure that it works, but it is important that it does work on a big server. So that for me is the worst part. Is trying to temper not only our excitement but everyone else's while we have to wait to get to the right position to release it on the server.
Okay, and I'll make it quick here so we can finish this up. Best part about being a mod is just hanging out with my friends. We all doing something we love, and we all get to hang out together. All of the mods are people I like to hang out together, and we just enjoy what we do. So that's the best part. What I dislike is that constant nagging feeling that I need to be present, and I think that goes for a lot of us, feeling that need to be responsive all the time, and the guilt of stepping away when you need to. That's not why we never hang out now. Well, ABK, I'm sorry. But we do have a large team, and we're all very good at kind of picking up where other people need to step away. So the guilt is probably the biggest dislike, but overall, it's a good place to be, and I don't think we could function as well if we weren't all good friends. So that's all from me. And then I think that's done with that. Sorry, Aiden. Aiden's in here, but he's emotional support. he's our Discord mod. He'll get his turn to speak unless he wants to say something now.
I'm just your friendly neighborhood Discord mod admin person, as well as guide.
There you go. Well said, Aiden. All right, so I'm going to give it over to Juji for now.
Alrighty. Before I talk about mod feedback, I got an exciting announcement. I know we're all here for the same thing. The biggest and best Minecraft update has just been announced, and it's just on the horizon. That's right, the long-awaited cow update. Mojang has finally announced 2 new cow variants. With that in mind, iSV is going to be heavily leaning towards that. Next season, we will be making sure all mobs will be replaced by cows, and they will all be invulnerable. And of course, if anyone's messing with cows, they're going straight to jail. Well, actually, I haven't really discussed this with the other mods, but I'm sure they're all on board. Right, guys?
Yeah, sure, whatever. What'd you say?
Right.
Was I muted? Should I do that
No, no,
again?
no. No, you're good. No, I was trolling.
Okay,
I think
okay.
the cows need to fall from the sky. That's what's gonna happen next season.
So
Wait,
it
cows
works
can
like
fall from the sky as long as they don't die.
They're invulnerable.
so then I have a question with the new cow variants with like the cold and the warm temperature as well as the regular, is that like rare, medium, and well done?
That's
I
exactly
think
what I was
so.
thinking. Yep.
Oh,
I feel like I'm gonna
cold
get banned.
cuts.
Well, this has. I think this is going in the wrong direction here.
The mod coin
I'm
is
hungry,
steak next
guys.
season,
Okay. Not
or is
to
it
Everybody
go.
seems
leather?
on board with me.
Leather is the mod coin for next season.
Yes.
Dig it.
Oh,
Piglin leather, hoglin, whatever they're called.
The hoglins.
But and we'll work out the kinks later. But don't worry, guys. I know all the players are asking for this, so I'll fight hard for this. But for now, we'll move on to mod feedback. So we'll go through player feedback later, but I feel like it's important to kind of show off, like, we are also kind of thinking hard about what we want to implement next season. And of course, I'll put my feedback in and request the cow update. But anyway, we'll also hear what the other mods have to say. And since we don't want to take too long going through a whole essay on what we like and dislike, we decided to summarize it all. And myself and Glaive, who will go through the mod feedback. So the one of the feedback that we got for this season, the new thing that we introduced this season with the multi-server and the portals that help us kind of stitch it all together. Overall, the feedback was the portal network is good, but it's not perfect. We definitely know that there's some kinks that needs to be worked out, and we'll be working hard to make sure that we get what's best for the community. And one complaint that keeps coming up is there are too many portals, and we kind of do understand where that's going. Like, there's too many portals, too many servers with portals themselves, and we also had feedback about the portals not looking uniform, so we'll be addressing that too. But yeah, we'll heavily look into that. And having multiple interconnected server has definitely been a big benefit. I don't know if some of the veterans remember this, but some of the earlier seasons, especially at the start of the season, we'll be going at half the frame rate, half the TPS. There'll be lag, and I know some people lost their lives to mountains suddenly appearing in front of them while they're flying. But this season, for like 99% of the time, there has been next to no lag at all, despite the server being bigger than ever and having more redstone than ever. And we definitely think that's a positive, especially because it allows the community to grow season by season. And we kind of have like a model where we have the option to expand more easily. And of course, there has been some growing pains attached to that. The multi-server thing, especially at the start of the season, was not perfect, but the admin team has been hard at work fixing that. And it's honestly quite amazing how much this server has grown thanks to the admin team. And I do want to give a shout out to the admin team for all the hard work. We are also able to venture further out into the world thanks to having this setup, and create bigger worlds, and especially allow us possible leeway into expanding with Mojang's updates. And I will now pass this on to Glaive to continue on with the feedbacks.
Okay. I'm going to cover some of the community topic of feedback that we received. I want to start by saying everyone in the community is always very helpful and caring, and that's what makes iSV very great. Ever since I've joined, this has been very true. The community is amazing here. We also want to recognize the hard work and dedication of our fellow staffers, as we all are really fond of our as we really found our stride and teams seem to feel real comfortable with their responsibilities and duties. We like to make sure to support each other whenever necessary. Sometimes we tend to hang out in staff places where we could instead hang out in community spaces, but we do try and make an effort to hang out in public spaces so you guys can get a better feel of what your staff is like. We did receive many comments about the community feeling disconnected this season. I'd say nearly every feedback that we received included something about the server feeling disconnected, and I do feel that myself too. We are looking into ways to try fixing this and addressing it where possible. The main thing we wish we could change is the amount of player drop off we see as we get further into the season. Next, we'll go on to some quality of life aspects and changes. Many of us are frustrated that maps are broken, but we do have a patch coming soon, so we shouldn't need to wait until next season. We do like that the void part of the map world has been well received. We also like that quality of life perks like mod coins have been well received and regularly redeemed. The Discord layer has been a point of contention for a while, and we have thoughts on how to address it and make it more cohesive. I know we've been going over that recently in our own staff channels, looking at how to simplify it better and make it easier to navigate for everyone in the community. I think that would pass it on to Ashley next.
Oh yes, I suppose it is. Okay. We're gonna go back to more questions. This one's a really, really serious question. It's from our longtime and wonderful community member Char 4100. If you guys don't know her, she's always doing great things for the community. So Char's super serious question is, what is your favorite cookie? Don't think too hard about this.
Can I go first?
Oz can go first.
Yay. White chocolate macadamia nut. Oh, that's so good.
Man.
I'll go next, and I will say and agree with Oz. That is actually my choice as well. It is the best cookie.
For me, it would have to be Tassie's. But in my family, instead of using pecans, we've always used walnuts for them. But yeah, Tassie's are absolutely the best.
And my answer be cake.
No. I'm just kidding.
Is cake a cookie?
I mean, the cake cookie. No, chocolate chip cookies are probably the best cookies. I'm just saying. Gotta go original.
I too am an original chocolate chip cookie lover. Give me a chocolate chip cookie any day of the week. If it's warm, I will love you forever.
All right, I also am a chocolate chip cookie fan. However, I don't like chocolate. So I make homemade chocolate chip cookies and I take out the chocolate chips. So you get the delicious brown sugar gooey goodness without the chocolate, and it's the best cookie in the world. So leave your hate and outrage in the comments.
Wait a second.
Ash, have you tried Anzac biscuits?
No.
You should. That's my favorite because I mean I love chocolate, but it's the brown sugary texture of it. But it doesn't have chocolate in it.
Good to know.
So for me, if we're doing store-bought cookies, you can have your traditional chocolate chip, but the best way to go is chocolate chunk, chewy if you can. They're just so good. And then if we're talking homemade, definitely. So my mom makes the best red velvet cookies with like cream cheese frosting on them. But yeah, so either of those, depending on what we're more in the mood for. They are like a cake cookie, that's true, but they're still good. And I stand by that.
I'm not going to provide any context whatsoever for my answer. chunk cow cookie. Some of you might know what that is.
Is that like the no bakes?
No context.
Okay, Grandpa, time for bed.
Dang.
I like chocolate chip, but if they have the butterscotch chips in them as well, it's even better. So I guess chocolate butterscotch chip cookies.
Sturm, I believe it goes to you next.
Actually,
Yeah.
that would be me.
Yeah. Go
Oh.
Oz.
I'm missing something. Sorry.
So, oh yeah, sorry. We kind of just did a quick edit and didn't put that in there. So the next topic will be spawn build town section areas where everybody enters their SMP. Again, just a pre-note. Everything is subject to change. We don't have final answers yet. So what I'm telling you is just kind of a preliminary idea gathering, could possibly change, could possibly stay the same. Don't take my word for it and set it in stone. We are looking at going with 2 separate spawns this next season. Sturm is going to be lead on one. I'll be lead on the second one. And we've got some spawn designs we're going to throw little teasers at in just a minute. But there'll be 2 SMPs. What else am I missing, Sturm, as far as the general announcement there?
That's pretty much it there.
Okay. Take it away with your spawn tease.
Yeah. I to kind of give an idea, we have done in the past something like this, but it was a district before, and it was run by our great mod here, Hugh. She did a fantastic job, but I wanted to bring something again and see what everyone thinks as well, and we wanted to make it bigger and make sure we can able to finish it as a community as well. So the thought was that, hey, let's make a giant city that is going to be our spawn this season. A nice big project that can hopefully last the whole season if possible, because we'll have plenty of room to keep moving and keep building. So to kind of give a little teaser, we already kind of have an idea of where it will be, and this is what we have plans for it to be kind of laid out in 2 phases. And building on this has already per se been started, and we will be hopefully having a build team. I would like to start one up soon so we can start getting some ideas and get community involvement as well. And we will need to take down probably a very big hill here very soon as well once we start the new season, to get everything ready. But we have a lot of work to do on this one, and everyone's able to get involved. And the great thing is we'll have Lightmatica or our version of Lightmatica to be able to get it done quicker. So everyone is able to be involved somehow, whether it's something small or something large like building a giant skyscraper. That's pretty much it. Off to you, Oz.
Thank you, thank you. I am excited for yours, that is for sure. Well, I think it's going to be really amazing. So the second spawn is not going to be quite as season long. I expect it to take some time, but not quite as much as time as Sturm's project may be taking. Let me get you a little snip here. Let's go spectator so we don't see my arm floating in the air. So you guys are probably going to hate me for this, but that's what we're looking at. And I'm not going to give away much of the rest because it's a teaser after all. We're looking by a 16 by 16 chunk spawn, and it is going to be symmetrical for the most part. We have some cool things going in there. and some. I guess you're just not going to be able to see what's coming with that picture. I'll just leave it at that.
I think that's a perfect teaser. I think that's good enough right there for everyone. Leaves enough to imagination, right?
Exactly. It'll be fun. I'm excited. So that does it with our spawn teas. Off next, we'll have Mr. Max.
All right. Mostly to drive the points home of what Juji had spoken about earlier and Real, that ISV pretty much pioneered the multi-server setup. We had a lot of the growing pains that we experienced have made it a lot easier for other servers after us to be able to use multiple servers to spread the lag, spread the pain. But we have learned a lot of lessons from it. And this season coming up, we will definitely be reducing the number of servers, consolidating some of them to work better. Part of the things that we did was each thing had its own server. We realized that we can combine them to make things more efficient, travel easier, and also create those opportunities to have the random meetups again. Big thing is the industrial district, it absolutely will be its own unique server. That way we can keep all the fun in one spot, keep all the grinding from interfering with anybody else in their home servers. So hope that straightens out some things for you guys, but again, your feedback has helped us a lot with where we need to go from here, because when we first started this, it was brand new territory. And I will get this hand it off to Mr. Sturm.
Hey everyone. So we're going to go ahead and go through what the live responses have been so far for the feedback and questions form. River, first off, first one, I'm going to call you out. They asked, is this really live? Yes, it is live. Fallen asked, you got any games on your phone? Well, I'm a big Brawl Stars fan. I don't know about everyone else here. I know Glaive is a big
Clash of
Clans
Clans, yeah.
fan, so I don't know what other mods. But
I play Pokemon
any other
Go.
mods want to add to that?
If you want to join me on Pokemon Go, I sometimes log in for the first time after 3 months, and I'll send you a gift. Ask me for my friend code. But I don't play any other games.
In a similar vein, I've been really into Pokemon TCGP, the TCG Pocket Edition. There's actually a thread up in the games forum, up in the global section. You should check it out. It's real fun. I have all the luck. Everybody roasts me for it.
Well,
I play
moving
Township.
on. Oh, there we go. Township.
Township, yep. It's the only game I allow myself on my phone, otherwise I'd spend too much time on it. Except when I'm on a flight, I have Plants vs. Zombies for that, because it needs an internet. Oops, sorry. It needs an internet connection. Cats.
Anyone else?
I have no games on my phone except for a cheap solitaire.
Oh, Solitaire is such a good game, though.
It is.
It is.
That's top tier.
To go against the cause of great outrage, I'll say that for the most part, on my currently running computer, Minecraft's the only game on it. I don't do any other games other than Minecraft.
That's perfect. There's no one else. We'll move on. We have an anonymous question. Can the mod coin next season be an enchanted steak? Potatoes are so last season. Now, I wish I could
Nope.
say yes to that just
Nah.
for Juji's sake. So I think we should say yes, and then we'll just move along with that. Moving on.
Can we ban the
Uh,
anonymous player?
All right,
I
Judy,
don't
you're
think we
getting
can.
banned.
I
We all
think it
know
was
your alter
Juji that
ego
put that in
slipping through
there.
there.
Yeah, I think that was Juji.
If you want a mod coin, you have to go kill Juji.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
He'll
I
drop
don't
an
like this. Move on to the next question. Move on to the next one.
Wonder Sim. Trade Haven was such an amazing project. Will something like this be part of next season? It was such a perfect amount of time commitment per build. Hugh?
So yes. Now whether or not it'll be an island village and it'll be like regular buildings, I don't know that much yet. I haven't started planning like what the theme kind of aesthetics of it is going to be, but the Trade Haven project, the Villager Trading Hall project, will be carried over to next season, and we will be doing something similar but not the same. So yes, with an asterisk.
Perfect. Jado Digital, they asked, what is our favorite hermit other than Impy? I'd say mine is Exuma. Anyone else?
B-dubs.
Etho.
Cleo.
I'm biased. Skiz.
Skizzleman.
I'd say green or Mumbo for me.
I mean, can you say all of them? I don't know.
I mean, that's fair too.
mean-
Everybody's spamming in the chat, and I'm like, no, wait, them. No, wait, them. Yes, them.
Mhm.
Yes.
They're all amazing. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Or the
I
solution.
mean, if you're
one or the
gonna
other.
make me pick someone other than Impulse because he is my favorite hermit, I guess Skiz. But like Impulse is my
We're
top.
biased, though.
I'm okay with that.
Me too.
Okay. Moving on. Mr. ABK asks, can we have any hints or news on who the new server is going to be? There is nothing as to that yet, but there has been talk that we may do a vote on that or something. We'll be finding out about that very soon. We also just call it Stern, which I'm totally fine with that as well. We can move on.
We're
from there.
interviewing servers.
We're still taking resumes for servers.
Yes.
We have another anonymous post. For me, they said for me, being able to go easily between servers is a plus. I realize that you don't like the disconnect, but I tend to keep to myself by choice. I like to see servers from the SMP to and from spawn. Sorry, SMP Nether to and from spawn. This is something we'd have to discuss as a team. Most likely we will be finding out, and this will be most likely said in the next panel, and we will go from there.
I can just add to that too.
Yes, please.
We'll have, I don't know what I can say here, but we do have plans to try and make it favorable for everybody, but also kind of keeping to that vanilla feel, because with all the portals we have strayed a little bit from vanilla, but we understand that this makes it really easy for people to get things done, especially on such a large world like we have, large worlds like we have. So we have plans to try and make it as easy as we possibly can, but also reduce the number of redundant portals, because there was a lot of, okay, I got to go to this portal to get to this portal to get to this portal, and it just got really confusing. And so that's what we're trying to focus on. We're not going to make it so that you cannot access the Nether and spawn through a portal. Like, we're still going to keep portals. We're just not going to make it so you have to travel through multiple portals just to get to one place, kind of thing. Like, that's kind of our goal for what we're going to do. So I hope that answers your question a little bit better.
And we'll do 2 more, and then we'll go on to the next one. We will have more times for us to answer questions and feedback, everyone, okay? We have an anonymous ideal first date. Does anyone want to answer that?
Yeah, it'd be with my significant other.
Yeah. That's a great answer right
Ideally,
there. I like that one.
All expense paid trip to Hawaii. I mean,
I think January 1st is a good first date.
I was gonna say April
Oh.
25th. Not too hot, not too
What
cold.
kind of date are
All
we
you need
talking
is a
about? I
light
think we're a little
jacket.
confused here.
Oh my
I know.
god.
It could go multiple ways.
I think they mean the fruit, so it has to be kind of still juicy on the inside, but kind of uh put together, and it has to have the pit still in it. Come on.
And then we have a question from Cyril. Will the new servers be related to Fred and sisters again, maybe like children? We shall see. We will see very soon, based on votes and everything else.
I want to add to that as well. Feel free if you want to inject lore into any kind of the stories. Feel free to post in like the lore section. Do we still have a lore section? We might still have a lore section, and if we don't, there will be one in the possible potential new Discord layout. Anyway, if you ever want to make lore to share with the community, please do. We love hearing it. We love seeing it. And you can make your own story and be like, hey, I believe that this mod and this mod, just do what you want, right? Be creative. Have your own stories.
I can say
need
as
a
your
lore
friendly
person.
Discord admin, the lore channel is indeed still there.
There you go.
I do need a lore person for Spawn 2. If you are interested, maybe message me later. Because there's some lore to be made here. I just don't know what it is yet.
Okay, we will pass it on to Miss Hugh when you are ready.
Huh? What? Is it me already? Oh,
Yes, it is.
whoops. Okay. So I had notes on how I was gonna start and I misplaced. So one thing that we have decided that we are gonna do for next season is thank you for the head. One thing that we've decided that we're gonna do for next season is kind of take the concept of what the Fred hub was, where it was like the centralized area, and remove it from an SMP so it's its own standalone central hub or a lobby, if you will. And I've been working on kind of like the layout and stuff. Nothing is final by any means, but we will have, well, I'm just going to drop them in the chat. I have some screenshots for you. Here's one. So with this one, this is where everybody will spawn in, kind of like a flower. It's really pretty. I'm excited. And it's going to be, I'm just going to drop them all because if I don't, then I'm going to get ahead of myself. I'm totally prepared, guys. This is a prepared Hugh. Yes, Storm, that is an even number. I got grilled for it in the guide meeting, but it's too late to change it. I mean, it's not too late, but I refuse to change it. And then there's all of the other screenshots. So it's going to be a floating island, playing around with the idea of having secondary islands connected to it. Probably yes, but I don't have anything designed yet, so I can't show you anything. And we're going to have, so with the lobby, we're going to have most, if not all, of the main portals that go to all of the main areas. We're going to have the Impulse statue. We're going to start decorating that again next season. I'm so excited. And one thing that you kind of can see, but you wouldn't know about, we're also going to have the post office housed within the main island of the lobby. That way it's centralized and people have easy access to it. And there will be more information about the post office as we get closer to season launch. I'm super excited with how we've organized everything. It'll be so much easier to do stuff. That's it for the tease. There's more to come, but working on it eventually.
Well, moving on, looks like we are going to back to Ash and Hugh.
Not gonna lie, I kind of didn't plan for this section.
That's okay. We can wing it. It's fine.
We're gonna wing it.
So Spawn Town and neighborhoods, we got a lot of feedback about that. A lot of the feedback was that it was too spread out, that the themed neighborhoods, while good in practice or while good on paper, didn't really get executed as well as we thought they would. So what we are looking at for right now, and this is all subject to change, so just bear that in mind, that we're going to probably reduce the size of Spawn Town. Like this season, it was anywhere from 300 to 800 in all directions. We're probably going to reduce that down, but we don't know how much smaller we're going to go. That would depend on a bunch of factors that are still up in the air. And then so if we have 2 SMPs, we will have 2 Spawn Towns. If we ended up having 3 SMPs again, we will have 3 Spawn Towns, 1 Spawn Town per SMP server. That's about where we're at with that. And as far as the neighborhoods, we're going to drastically reduce the number that we had. This season we had 8. We're probably going to drop that down to easily half, if not even less than that, per Spawn Town. So that we still have the neighborhoods, we still have the structures, but for the most part, it's going to be a little bit more approachable from like the new player standpoint, so that you're not intimidated to be somebody's neighbor that you're maybe not super familiar with, and you're like sharing a wall, or that way you're also not tossed out into the wind and have nobody for miles and miles. And we do also plan to move a little bit away from the heavily themed neighborhoods. We've not put a lot of planning yet into what we're going to do with those neighborhoods, whether we leave them completely unthemed or if we give like a guidance toward what you could build in the area. But the feedback was that unless you already knew what you wanted to build, it was really hard to come up with something on the fly for some of the neighborhoods. So Tilt picked up on that. Yes, a guidance toward things. But that is where we're at with Spawn Town and neighborhoods. And Sturm actually just dropped the link a second ago for the feedback. If you guys have any questions, observations that you want to throw at us for Spawn Town and neighborhoods, we can try to get those real quick. And actually, that bumps it on down to Oz to pull up the feedback.
Before Oz goes, I'm just going to quickly address Accident's point in the comments here. He's asking, and it seems like a lot of people agree, that why are we having multiple spawn towns? It will lead to more disconnected people are living elsewhere that isn't just their base. Real has already answered, but I'm going to elaborate on that. So Real said that things can change at this stage, which is absolutely true. If you guys think this is a terrible idea, that's exactly why we're having this panel, so that you guys can tell us like, hey, please don't do that. I don't think that's going to go so well. So if you think that 2 spawn towns is bad, just let us know. The reason we were planning it that way is that so both of, or however many spawns we have, can both have that spawn town feel. So if somebody wants to settle in one spawn, they can, right? If they're not locked to just one place, where spawn town is on this server, so therefore you must have your spawn town in this server. What we saw with Fred this season was because Fred had spawn town, a lot of people just chose to settle in Fred because that's where they already were, right? So our goal is to spread out the number of people between servers, especially new people. Sometimes people didn't even know that there was another server. They would start in Fred and they would settle in Fred and they go, oh, there's more servers, right? So that was kind of our goal there, was to spread out the amount of love between the servers. But honestly, if you guys think that that should change, please send it in the feedback form, let us know, and we'll consider changing that. So that's exactly what we're doing this panel for. So there you go. I hope that answered your question.
Well said, Ash. Well said. Yep, everything is strictly just kind of just information here, no things set in stone. So definitely submit your feedback to the feedback forums. And if you have questions for right now, go ahead and submit them to the link that Sturm just provided again, and we will look at answering those. And we're actually going to move on to a couple of them right now. Commando asked, when will new season start? We covered this earlier in the thing. We are looking at shutting down July-ish and starting August-ish. Could be off a month either direction. Don't really know at the moment, but that is our rough timeline at the moment. Anonymous, has there ever been talk of proximity voice chat mod or anything? This has been something that has been requested a lot of, and even though we, the moderators, wish to see it as well, unfortunately, it's just not something we're able to do for ISV. There's a long answer to that. Real, I don't know if you want to answer that right now because this is something that is very commonly
Sure.
asked.
Yeah. So the long and short of it is it's really difficult to moderate. If somebody chooses to abuse prox chat, it's very difficult for us to prove it in order to take action. So we don't want to ever put people in a situation where it becomes a he said, she said, and we have to just trust one person's account over another. And unfortunately, until moderation tools for prox chat are created or improved on, there's not really a viable way for us to be able to make sure that it stays safe, that it stays family friendly. We are one of the few servers out there that are Hermitcraft related servers that allow young children on the server with their parents' permission. Most of the other servers out there are 13 plus, period. They don't allow kids. So we try extra hard to make sure that this space stays family friendly and stays COPPA compliant. And so until we can monitor that sort of thing, we have to be very, very careful about what we add to the server as far as things that are really popular in the community, like prox chat. So yeah, it's tough, but we are keeping an eye on it. Actually, Fingerguns and I have talked extensively about creating moderation tools for it. So that may be a future thing if we can get there. Right now, our biggest problem is compute power for it to record and then create a transcript that's searchable. So, yep. It's not that it will never happen in the future. It's just gonna take some time.
Thank you, Real.
Mhm.
All right, moving on. Tilt had a question. Can we expect to see more events from staff next season? I would venture to say we'll at least expect the same amount of events. More would probably be one of those answers that we will be giving in the next one. Again, definitive answers aren't much of a thing at the moment, but if you feel like there should be more events, please drop that in the feedback form. And then if you'll provide maybe some event ideas for us to go over as well with staff, that would be helpful as well. Anonymous. Again, let's see, can the traders have updated heads for the hermits rather than old heads for some of them? So I do believe that they have actually updated the plugin for this. I'm doing some dev testing right now on at least one of the wandering trades that does the hermit heads, and I am seeing updated heads. Unfortunately, this is something that's kind of out of the admin's control. But I have been noticing that a lot of these developers for the plugins, with the release of 121.4, are re-hitting their plugins and re-updating their skins and things like that again. So I'm hopeful that we will be able to provide that for you with some updated stuff. IX has a question here. What software do you use to translate Juji's cow noises to English? I'm
Barbecue.
yeah, okay. I'm pretty good with on-the-fly stuff, but I don't
thought we
know if I can
updated.
answer that, IX. You got me stumped there. It's been a while since that's happened.
I mean, I use Google Translate. It's fine.
I
It,
just
it
use
does
Comes out with some
ChatGPT.
weird translations, but
Max says Babel fish, but I'm pretty sure it's Babel cow that we use for Juji specifically.
Oh
Something.
yeah.
Oh, Moogle Translate.
Oh.
Muolingo. Oh
Oh.
my god.
Oh, you guys are good. Okay. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Moving on. Anonymous. Are there still free range as well? Are there still free range as well for Spawn Town?
Oh,
I'm
yes.
going to say tentatively yes. There will still be a Spawn Town free range ability to claim your plot type thing, and not
Yes.
just strictly, not just strictly the sections that were pre-laid out.
Yeah, we're not going to go through and map the entirety of Spawn Town. There will definitely be availability for people to claim free range plots.
Yeah.
For sure.
Char 4100, is it possible to have a /home in addition to /spawn to bypass multiple world or portal trips from one place to the next? We are still looking into definitive answers for /spawn, /home, and various other things at the moment. Currently, I can't give a definitive answer for that, but that is something we are sourcing information on. We've had a lot of feedback, and it's pretty much been 50-50. Some people would like us to completely get rid of /spawn entirely, and 50% of the people really like having the /spawn, just maybe think it needs a little bit longer cooldown. It's something we're still trying to weed through the information on. Muclix, can I have a base on the gaming district? Muclix, you are free to set out some barrels and put some stuff there for your current project. Unfortunately, though, we won't be doing bases on gaming district servers. Let's see here. Ray KC. 2 spawn towns feels okay as long as it's just 2 or 1 per server. I think the biggest issue with this last season is that there is just so many. I think there was like 6 to 8. Yeah, and I think we did cover that a little bit ago. We are looking at kind of reducing how overwhelming that feels. Feedback from Juji, maybe Spawn Town in the lobby world. That's an interesting idea as well. We'll have to talk to our local humanity about it.
Well, and Ash is also helping with the Spawn Town, so it's not just a me thing, but that also would take consideration from the admins as to if that would add any additional server load and any other stress. So it's definitely not off the table. I'm down to discuss it as long as the admins give it the green light. Then I mean, we can look into it for sure.
Make sure to drop that in the feedback form, Judy, so we can not lose that. Do I keep going? I noticed there's a line there, or do we stop for there?
That's the same amount of questions we did before we stopped the first time, but if you want to keep going, we can. There's only a handful more.
Okay, I'm going to do a few more. Captain Rubik's, how can someone become part of staff if they want to do/be more guide mod in an admin? So guides are on a rotation period. I believe that rotation is every 6 months. Hugh's going to have some information coming for us later on an upcoming guide rotation. There will be some positions available opening up, and at that point, we will list applications inside an announcement channel within iSV for everybody to submit to. They're not closed and they're not handpicked. It's strictly your application, and then that application goes to the mod team, and it also goes to the current guide team. And we all do what we feel is best for the community as a whole based on your application. The mod and the admin team is a little bit more selective. It's one of those things that we need to have a position to open up for that, because it's we keep the numbers on the mod and the admin team where they're at, and we try not to get the team too large, but at the same time we try and keep it big enough to where if somebody has to take a break, or 2 or 3 people have to take a break, the community doesn't suffer because somebody's got some IRL stuff going on. But when positions do open up for those, it's going to be the same process. We will put an announcement out to everybody in the community, and everybody will have an equal opportunity, and then your applications will be viewed by the mod and the admin team for the mod and admin positions. Actually, the admin, sorry, I misspoke. The admin is directly with Real's Corner. So that is an application directly to Real on the admin side. But the mod side usually goes to the whole team. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take 2 more, and then we'll stop there. I see the list just keeps getting bigger and bigger. For free roam building, people will have a bigger claim than 40/40. I'm not sure what you mean exactly by free roam building people.
For the spawn town claims.
Yeah, spawn town.
Oh, okay, 40/40 blocks. We haven't set the limits on our spawn town builds yet. We can look at possibly increasing it. I'm not entirely sure. We've been kind of going and kind of adjusting it from season to season. So I can't say that it's going to stay the same, and I can't really say that it's going to change at the moment. But if you would submit that to the feedback form that you would like to see a bigger spawn claim able to be created, or a smaller one, whichever way you lean on that, just so that way we don't lose that information, we would appreciate it.
And if you have a specific size in mind, just be sure to include that so that we're not.
Exactly. Yeah, with those feedback forms, the best thing you can do is give us potential solutions to the problems that you see instead of just the problem. So that really is helpful to us. So at least we know which way you're looking at things and what you're seeing we need as a community as a whole. Can the traders sell mod staff heads? Serial, yes, that is possible. But typically we don't do that. That requires some special work on the admin side as far as making that happen.
We have talked about making them available again via a separate vendor rather than the wandering trader, so that is a possibility.
Okay. Right. And then from there, what is next? Mr. Sturm.
Hello again. A major one that's been talked about quite a bit, and the feedback we received from everyone was the consistent talk about the community disconnect, and we obviously want to address that. So one of the major one was, the I think the staff, the mods, haven't been able to interact with players as much as they used to, and players want more interaction. So we have already discussed this, and there will be a lot more interaction between players and the mod team, especially. You guys will have us seeing us do more trolls, more general interaction. You'll see us coming around, TPing you, checking in on you, things like that. Not in a creepy way, I promise, but we'll be there and helping everyone out as much more as we can. And we should be expecting a lot more of that as well in the new season to come. So, like Will said, y'all asked for it, you're going to receive it. So here it comes. And have fun. That's all I got to say with that. Now, please understand that all deaths pertaining to trolls are now not at the mod's fault. And, well, it was the choice that was given, and now it's here. So, restart snacks, of course, will be coming back a lot more. Obviously, since now that the restarts only happen like every 6 hours, you don't get them as often, obviously, with the new season launch, depending on what the admins decide to do. We'll have more restart snacks, depending on how that's structured. And we've already been giving more snacks anyways, and things like that, that everyone's able to collect. The other thing has also been discussed, server, as a common reoccurring discussion, is server feels too spread out due to the multi-server layout. We have been discussing ways to address this and find new ways for everyone to find basically paths to cross and interact with each other. So with the coming of the lobby, we hope that will hopefully fix some of those things as well. And we shall see where that brings us from there. That's pretty much all that's on there. Actually, we'll go back over the feedback again. If anyone has any relevant feedback to the community disconnect, please go ahead and put that in there now. I'll put that in the chat. I will go ahead and go back where before. Hitmaster Paul asked, can we use Shulker Plus? I think Shulker Plus is a plugin, correct, admins?
Is not a plugin.
Yes, it
plugin?
Yeah.
is. Well, it is
Yeah.
a plugin as well as a mod. It was started as a mod, and then there was a plugin developer that came along and said they wanted to use it on paper servers. Shulker Plus drops a lot of errors, needless to say. I did put it on a server for a community, a rather small community, and it's buggy and it's not ISV standards. I pretty much had to turn off mostly all functionality to that plugin just to get it to quit dropping errors. So I hope that answers the question in short.
Perfect. Thank you. Next question was from Saral. I'm going to try and read it the best way I can. Looks like they love the great fast, super fast drink. They've been asking to get it for 4 hours for 1 mod coin. That will still be staying as a potion. And I'm pretty sure that'll be staying in the next season as well. That's all pertaining on what we decide to go with as well for mod coin redeems. The single potion at risk of losing that effect is part of the redeem itself. So the timer basically pauses once you go offline. So you only have that time that you have once you've drank it. Hopefully they answered that question that they had. We have an anonymous. Having spawn town in different servers will create disconnect. Instead of that, it can be the towns can be called the different servers, like we had in Cowan and Sweetberry Bluffs. We could have towns called Fred or Octavia, example of this season. Yeah, please put this in the feedback form. We will be also addressing this as well in our future meetings to discuss how we will structure this for the new season. But thank you for letting us know. Another anonymous, how will world download work? Will it be 3 different files for each SMP? I will let an admin answer that question if they know if there is an answer for that.
Real?
Of course, you're going to ask me a question that I wasn't paying attention to because I was going and grabbing a different link. What was the question?
You're fine. The question was, how will the world download work for this current season? Will it be 3 different files for each SMP, etc.?
That's going to depend on the world sizes. I will probably offer it as both. You can either download them individually or download them as a group. I have a data pack that I use that I install on all of our world downloads that have multiple dimensions, and it lets me add more dimensions to a regular world. So I can just connect all of the worlds into one big world download and then put command blocks at spawn that will teleport you to the different worlds.
Perfect. Thank you, Real.
Mm-hmm.
Muselix, can we have an option for a smaller base claim? Maybe you have a few default sizes, 9x9, 13x13. For some people, too big a base claim might feel overwhelming, and some people know they don't need a bigger than 9x9 chunks. This is something we could discuss as a team. What we've always had in the past is 2 different sizes, a single player and a multiplayer base claim. But we will discuss this as a team and see what we can do. Moving
And that
on.
we did
Go ahead.
receive that feedback. So we do
believe
have it, and it is in discussion.
Yeah, we've added it to the discussion for the next mod meeting, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, it is.
Perfect. We have another anonymous, maybe a waystone system for /spawn/home as redeemable via mod coin. That way people can visit easier, but also leaves the option to not use the feature. This obviously has been in discussion. We've discussed this as well. We'll be finding out what will be happening very soon. There's been major discussion between, whether we have /spawn/home, everything along those lines. That is all will be discussed, and we'll be finding out that very soon. Astral, more feedback for the Discord, but it might be nice to have quick questions channel for really quick things that aren't in the Gitbook or FAQ. things like a quick double check if I'm allowed to do this and things like that. In most cases, you just refer you back to the Ask a mod or a guide. We'll be able to answer those questions pretty much very quickly for you from that standpoint. We can discuss it and find out if we have the room or we're able to add something like that. But understand more channels is what's been the issue for many of the Discords or ISV Discord in general. So we're finding what will happen, and Ashley, I'm sure, will be discussing that with us and the community as well very soon.
For context, I've kind of taken charge on the Discord layout. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but
Overall.
so if you, yeah, restructure, reorganization. So yeah, I'm definitely open to all sorts of refresh. There you go, ABK. So I'm definitely open to suggestions. If you guys think like this is what I'd like to do, then throw it my way. I'm happy to take suggestions, listen, and try and implement them. And that being said, I am taking all of your feedback from the survey that we did last summer or winter for some of you. If you were around for that, that didn't all go left unread. There was a lot of useful information in that about how we can make changes to make the Discord easy to use for everybody. So if you have specific things about the Discord, feel free to shoot them my way.
Thank you very much, Ash. Tilt asked, in regards to the disconnect, what are the team's thoughts on districts this season and going forward? This is also in discussion, and we've been taking many of all of your guys' feedback. We should be hopefully getting, there's no definite answer, but we should be getting an answer hopefully to you guys soon. Within the next few months, we'll be letting you guys all know. Fallen. Discord should make new joiners go through roles and react to be able to get to the rest of the server. If it doesn't, to help people join SMP and such, bring stuff from Gitbook to Discord, so it's all in one place as well as much as possible. I like this idea. It's all really dependent on how we can structure that. Understand that it's nice to have the Git book because it allows us as mods and admins and also the Discord mods to be able to link certain rules to directly to like chat so that everyone can reference those. So we'll put this in our discussion to talk about in our next meetings. But thank you very much for that feedback. Uselix. If the creative server stays part of the server network, it needs a quick way to travel between creative and survival. Right now, it takes too long to travel between your survival and creative build, and it's better to use the single player creative role, something like /creative or /survival to get back. We have seen your feedback as to this, Muslix. We have been in discussion as of right now. I cannot give you any definite answer. But it is in discussion. We will find out very soon whether we are able to do that or not. That is pretty much it for that for now. Any more questions you guys have, we'll go into the next section. What's up next is guide leaders.
Hello, it's me talking for the first time, Aiden. So I, along with Fob Bob, am the GLTs, which is the guide team leaders. We basically are the team, duo, I guess, that works to hopefully keep the guide team organized. And the guide team, we're our main goal here, as far as the team is concerned, is for community involvement on keeping everybody involved and doing things, and having hopefully trying to fix those kind of disconnect things. So I'm here to kind of talk about how we do those kind of community involvements, what we can do better, and hopefully see what needs to be changed in the futures. So the first thing that we kind of do is those season long projects. So in the case of this season, one of the season long projects that we've heard a lot of feedback from has been the server highways systems. Which in theory, in concept, was a great idea to have a highway that reaches across all the servers on the overworld sides for the people that didn't want to go into the nether and use the nether hubs. But the infrastructure was a little bit more complicated and the scale was a little bigger, I think, than we originally had anticipated at the beginning of the season. And we are hopefully looking to have a simpler design and have it built or aim to have it built a little bit earlier so that people can use it earlier in the season rather than having it put off to the end of the season. And by the time that it's used, it's no longer as useful. And the other major thing, season long project that the guides do that everybody may be aware of is the community week that we have every month. Community weeks are very much a guide team speciality, shall we say, on getting so that everybody can all come together and get some of these projects done for the server and get a mod coin out of it. But as far as how the guide team approaches these community weeks is we try to organize each month based off of what is happening that month, either event wise or seasonally, and why we pick certain objectives each month. Like for instance, in December, we had a lot of build stuff for the Winter District because it's the time of the year, at least for the Northern Hemisphere, and it was a major focus, and that's why it was a major highlight for that community week. Um, and we try to assess that each time that we go through a month, as well as trying to have different options for people because everybody has different interests in how they approach Minecraft. We have builders, we have grinders, we have people that like to go around lighting up caves mindlessly. We have all of the material gathering, so we try to keep these options available to everybody. But if there are more options that might be a little more different or new to keep people's interest in doing community weeks, we certainly would love to hear that on the guide team so that we can make more interesting community weeks for everybody. And then another thing that the guide team loves to run for you guys to keep you all as the community involved is all of our social events. So we have a number of guide team run events. There will be some new guide team events coming soon as a little hint, little teaser for everybody. But we're definitely looking to see if we can host more often events for everyone. But we would love to have some feedback for more guide run events that can be done for the guides to host and have people be involved with that aren't just the same things over and over again. That everybody loves to do, but it gets tiring after a time, and people like new, fresh things. But I know one of the more recent feedbacks is doing community-based tours, not on Impulse's stream tours, but having community-led tours so that everybody can show off their own bases to other community members. That is something that we are thinking about and have on note, and we will hopefully be looking into doing some similar things with that towards the season ending. And finally, the other few things that we like to host and keep you guys involved is PHPs. For those of you that don't know about PHPs, it's players helping players. We have a nice handy dandy form for anybody to be able to post for having help if they need materials gathered, or I need help building this thing, or I need some help ideas on I'm not sure how to build this thing on my base. How can I get some help and opinions on this one? We really want to make sure that that's available and used more often for anything that you can think of. If you want advice on anything, and it's not just hey, we want an event to gather materials or help do a thing on a base. Like we want it to be used more often for everybody to be able to foster community engagement. But that's basically it for me and the guide team, and we're here to keep you going and have good community involvement and have fun making friends with everybody. But I'll pass it off to Real for continuing the feedback from the forum.
Yep, no worries. We actually only got one more question between the last time and this time, and it wasn't really a question. Tapper just wanted to say, made updates so easy, thank you.
give everyone like a
So
minute or
that
two.
means, yeah. Do, 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 do.
Well, we can talk about cake. I'm totally fine talking about cake.
Oh, actually,
I mean,
it looks like Tapper said
go ahead.
that there was a line that was missed.
Oh,
That one of the best additions to the season was Glave's ready-made mod folder that made updates so easily.
okay. It got expanded. Thank
I
you.
added the line. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Tapper.
Formatting.
And you're welcome.
Can we not talk about cake? I don't think that's
That's
going
just
to
rude.
be possible, but we could talk about muffins instead, made with icing.
So I'm not allowed to discuss the strawberry cake with chocolate icing I just ate?
Oh, and you didn't invite me? Wow.
I mean, I did. We're in the meeting together.
And Anonymous says, "You're doing great," with a smiley face. And Nightshade wants to know, what is the word on /spec? Well, right now, the developer, when I submitted the bug that we're having with it, the developer told me, we don't do support for velocity. And that's all I've heard. And even though I had specified I'm not asking for velocity support, it's not working on just the server that it's on. So I'm not sure. I will be looking for another spec option if that does not get fixed there. But I don't have your hopes up, is what I'm saying. I will keep looking. I will probably poke the dev again and just ask, try and be nice about it, not get myself banned from their forums for poking about something. That's actually a real thing that I deal with sometimes. Next question, what constitutes chocolate cake? Is it chocolate flavored cake with chocolate icing, or is it yellow cake with chocolate icing? There's one correct answer, and it's not the yellow cake. And that's from 9-3. Cyril wants to ask, can we talk about map transfer? Do you mean map transfers not working at the moment? Or something else? Get some
I
clarification.
I actually assumed they were talking about transferring
Oh,
maps from this
transfers to
season.
next season.
Yeah, to next season.
Yep. Okay. We haven't discussed it yet. The first time that we did this was from season 4 to season 5, and then we just kind of kept doing it. It is a lot of work for the admin team, and it's generally a lot of like last minute work and work that needs to be done before any other maps are created on the server. So it has to be done at the start. So we'll discuss it and let you guys know. And if you drop it into the feedback form as well, that will make sure we don't forget.
I mean, honestly, I don't think we're going to forget this one, but yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean ADHD forget, not actual forget.
Yeah.
I would like to address the next question.
Please.
Okay.
Colin has so kindly provided the entire B-movie script. I will spare you all, and I will not read it out. But you all are hearing it live. We are banning Fallen, so say goodbye now. Yeah.
I agree and second this motion.
Bye, Colin.
Sorry, Fallen. It's just not something we can ignore.
Can a mod teach Real how to pronounce my name? What, you don't like 9-3? It's Roman numerals.
Oh, man. The fallen have fallen.
Okay,
Mouths
we'll
to answer
do
your
two.
sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, we'll do 2 more questions and then next section. Go ahead, Ash, if you were going to answer something.
It's not in the feedback questions, but Mal is just wondering about the shopping district. I don't know a lot because that is very much Feather's area of expertise, and she's not here today. I can try my best. What worked and what didn't. I think she is. This kind of carries on to one of the questions somebody asked about how it's a little bit chaotic. I know she's going to try and make some changes to make everything a little bit easier. Not separate islands this time. I think it's all going to be together. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot of the details about what her plans are, but I think the shopping plugin will be back again. I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's on the chopping block at all. So I don't have any more information for you. I'm sorry. But that's yeah, that'll tie into another question here down below too.
Okay. Speaking of, are we going to plan on staying with the chat plugin we currently have? Yes, but hopefully a little bit better configured. This is a new plugin to me, and it takes me time to get into all the nitty-gritty details of it. The previous plugin that we were using just kaput and stopped working on us one day. I hadn't even touched it to update it. We had updated other things on the server, and it just decided to stop working. When I went to the plugin developer, he said that we are not supporting that plugin anymore, that he's not going to continue to develop it. And so basically, you're out of luck. So I had to find another chat plugin very quickly and get it installed and configured. And so I've just been trying to learn it and find the nuances of it and get the bug fixes done as we go. It's not ideal. It's not the way I like to do things normally. But I didn't really have a choice in this go around. So yes, we will still be using it. And I will do a better job at making sure it's functioning the way that we intend as smoothly as we can. Okay, and that's it for questions for now. So I guess it is back to Sturm. Or maybe Ashley.
I know Ashley has some words to say. Is there some Ashley words before I start?
Yes, 1 second. Sorry, I was just letting my dog out. And now I'm all over the place. Words. All right, there we go. So we are getting ready to finish up the panel. I know it's been like almost 2 hours. We actually kind of guessed pretty good. My script is in a different tab, Pix. Anyway, we're still looking for suggestions and contributions from all of you. We're looking for community input on some very important decisions, such as the next mod coin. We're going to be posting some polls coming up here, so you guys can have your ideas considered. And they'll remain open for a while after this meeting, so don't feel worried if you have to go right after this. You'll have time to submit. If you have input on other things, remember that the feedback form, the normal feedback form, is still going to be open after this panel. And oh, you know what? I missed a whole section, guys. This is what I get for letting my dog out.
I was about to ask you.
You know what? Just it's fine. Everything's fine. Well, now you have a sneak peek for the next section of the panel. Okay, guys. So awkward. Anyway, we have one more question. I did lose the script. Shouldn't have let my dog out. So we have another question from the feedback form, and it was asked by our favorite river on the server, River Farms. Sorry to any other rivers out there. And they ask, what can players do to help mods help the players? And I'm going to hand it over to Sturm. I believe he was going to answer this one.
Yeah, what it seems like is most players often assume that only people who have certain tasks are like staff that can only do like events and other help players and like stuff like that, which isn't true. Guides and mods are often selected because of their involvement with the community, like giving tours to new players or coordinating projects. By being interactive, friendly, and helpful with everyone, you are not the only. You're not only to contribute to the health of the server, but you unknowably reduce the number of conflicts and issues that sometimes escalate to a point of mod intervention. So we do all notice these small but friendly interactions, and they do not go unappreciated. If you would like to get more involved or have specific ideas, questions, you're more than welcome to always DM a mod. We are all here to help facilitate and make sure this community runs smoothly. Back to you, Ash.
Well, have I got a surprise for you? We're getting ready to finish up the panel. I'm kidding. I'll spare you all. So yeah, as I was saying before, we're gonna open up some polls to give your input, and then after the meeting, if you guys still have questions or input or suggestions for next season, feel free to throw them in the regular feedback form, and we will get to them in our normal meeting and decision making. So yeah, feel free to throw that in later if you think of something in the future. I don't know if I'm supposed to go over the questions beforehand, guys. Somebody help me.
We can do it after the
Okay.
new questions. We can do it
Cool.
after.
So I'm not going to ask you guys the questions here, but we're going to post the questions down in there later. And I don't know. I think that's pretty well a wrap, unless anybody has anything else they want to contribute.
Should we go through maybe some of the live questions we have? We have a few left. We want to go through those, or just want to keep going on?
We got 2 more. I don't think it'll take too much time.
Okay. We have an anonymous. The mod coin could be a key to unlock features for players. I think this is a cool idea. Definitely something we can add to discussion. We will put this in our discussion board and we will discuss it as a team. Can't give you yes or no though on that one. 9-3. I'll follow Rill on that one. That's pretty funny. Any current districts leaving next season or new districts coming next season that you can talk about? Yes. Moving on. And that's pretty much it from there. Oh, we have another one. Tilt. Any just one more thing teaser or otherwise? I got one for you, Tilt. Yes. And then that's pretty much it for there. Any you guys got like
How
1
about-
minute? Go ahead.
How about for a teaser in the notes under the section D, number 2? Anybody have a disagreement with that?
No.
With me putting it out there?
We should.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm fine with that one.
Okay, so one of the
Yeah.
possibilities that we're talking about for next season is unlocking additional mod coin redeems or other things that could be your suggestions. If instead of redeeming your mod coins for yourself, if you toss them in to a community pool, and once that community pool hits a certain amount, the mods and admins will unlock new redeems or new features of the server. What that will look like right now, we don't know. Hopefully, once you guys fill out the polls and submit their feedback, that'll give us some ideas on where we want to go with that. But that's a possibility that we have discussed very briefly.
So it'll be kind of
1,000 mod
similar
coins.
it'll be kind of similar to what we've done in the past with you have to get to the end and do the dragon before we open up a district or something like that, or you have to spawn before we do this or something.
Or like we had to finish the nether tunnels before something was done. So yeah.
Yep. Here, I'm gonna give Tilt one more little teaser for spawn for the other spawn. My spawn. Here, there we go. Right in chat. Just
So
because
what I'm
it's
hearing-
Tilt. We like the guy.
What I'm hearing now is we have iSV DLC. That's coming next season, y'all.
For an additional $4.99.
Microtransactions.
Congratulations,
No, I
y'all!
don't
You've
think we'll
unlocked
ever go there.
microtransactions.
Y'all asked for it. Here it comes.
It is definitely
Oh,
spawn-proof,
Impulse would be
actually.
so happy if we did that.
Right.
You know how much he loves pay to win servers.
Well, I think that is it for questions. We will bring it back to Ash to finish us off.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that's me. I didn't write a script for this, so we're gonna wing it. So you get Ashley at scriptless. Usually when I'm streaming, which I mean that hasn't been in like 6 months, but besides the point. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up. I guess I'll just tell you the questions we're gonna throw down in some polls here later and whatnot. So we're actually looking for some ideas for what to do in the interim between servers. I know Rill already mentioned that at the very beginning. So what kind of event server you want to see, or if you want creative server access, I think we can only do one or the other. So we won't be able to have the creative server running if we choose to do an event server. So we'll need your input on that. We're looking for name suggestions for our servers. And this can even be like, give all of your names that you want, because even if we don't use them for the server, we can use them for other things too. So if you have some fun names, especially if you have some lore, behind that name, that's even better because that can help us decide on some fun names. We're looking for mod coin items. I know I asked this in the chat a while ago. We had some really good suggestions like trial keys, feathers, nautilus shells, so on. Enchanted steak, so we can go chase Juji around and farm mod coins. We're also looking for mod coin redeems. So if you have ideas for things that are fun and vanilla plus, they can't be too OP or game breaking, and they need to be worth the mod coin. So if you have suggestions for that, definitely throw them at us.
And an addendum to that, because I didn't put it in the notes, if you have ideas for multi-server or multi-coin redeems, like how we have the super large and super small scutes, throw those out there. They don't have to just be a one coin redeem.
Yes, exactly. We're looking right now. I think a lot of you are familiar with panic poppies and those random lore items you find around the servers. You open a chest, you find that stuff. I've literally never found one. I'm clearly unlucky. But if you have ideas for that kind of stuff, we generally like to do one item from past seasons. So we need something for this season. And I mean, it doesn't have to be one. We could have something for Fred, something for Poppy. We already did Poppy, Octavia, Sakura, so on. So we need suggestions for lore items. Server snacks. I mean, all of it, right? We want your guys' input and your guys' ideas, because we're only a couple of people, and sometimes our brains sort of just stop working when we're planning a new season, and the creativity sort of stops. So that's where we need you guys to give all your wonderful ideas, because there's a lot of them. Also, like suggestions for new community-wide events, that sort of thing. So I think there was also one more thing that was added last minute. Hold on, I'm gonna find it here in 8 million tabs. It's somewhere. 1 second, guys. Okay, it's kind of related. Thanks, Hugh. He was pinging me. Plans to revamp the mod coin list. Yes. So some of them are a little bit outdated. I mean, it's true. Some of our mod coin redeems have been around for literally like years and years. So yeah, we will maybe go over all of the mod coin redeems and review them, see what works, what doesn't, what needs to be changed. We'll definitely go over that, and then with your suggestions of what we can redeem, what sorts of mod coin redeems we can add, we can update that list to be a little bit more better. A little bit more better, is that proper grammar? I'm not sure, but whatever. So
Made
I think
sense.
that's about. Sorry.
I said it made sense.
Okay, good. I'm glad I've been talking too long. Nothing makes sense anymore. All right, so I think that's pretty much all. I'm gonna give anybody a chance to throw in some last minute bits, but I think that pretty much completes everything. Again, we will have another panel later on in somewhere between in the rough area of June, July. No confirmed date yet, but if all goes to plan, that's when it'll be. And that will have more announcements. Hopefully we can get Boss Man in here with us to help give some of those announcements, but that's absolutely not guaranteed. It's all dependent on his schedule. So keep tuned for that. Get building your bases, keep up the panic building, and feedback form is always there. Thanks guys for showing up and for sticking around. we do appreciate this community. I know it doesn't get said all the time, but yes, we appreciate all of you.